This is Access 2016, Module 5, Part 9. In this segment, we're going to be working with another one of our query wizards. This time, we're going to be using the Find Duplicates. So let's go back into our Access database. I want you to keep in mind that finding duplicates may sound like you're only looking for errors, but it could be that the duplicates are not necessarily errors. Perhaps if we were working with a company and they were starting projects and they needed a project manager to start those projects, and if we only had 2 project managers in-house, when we find duplicates, we would want to make sure that those start dates, we only had 2 on a given day, so that each project manager could be starting one. So it may not necessarily be that you are looking for errors. It may be that you just need to ensure that there's only 2, or that the duplicates that should be there are. So we're going to start out with, again, create, and since this is a wizard, we're going to choose our query wizard. This is the Find Duplicates query, so we're going to choose that wizard. And it's asking us, do we want to start with a table or a query? Now, you want to remember, like I said in the crosstab, if you start with a query, you need to understand the other query that is the starting point. If you have restrictions or criteria put in there that are going to limit the records that are showing up in the original query, those records will also not be included in this new one that you create from it. Now this time we're going to actually use a table. So we're going to click on the visit table. And then we're going to choose next. Now it wants to know which fields could contain duplicate information. So if we were looking for duplicate animal IDs and we wanted to see how many times a given animal had been in for visits, then we could choose that. In this example, we're going to choose our visit ID, and we're going to look for, or excuse me, not the visit ID. The visit ID would never bring in any duplicates. That is because it is the primary key. So you also would never get any duplicates if you inserted all records, because Access forces this primary key to be unique. So you wouldn't want to do that. We're going to choose visit date. Then we're going to choose next. Now, even though this screen looks the same as the last one, it has a very different explanation. It says, what information do you want to show in your query results in addition to the field that you already picked as a duplicate? So on this one, it's fine to say display all of the other fields and use the double arrow. Then we're going to say next, and we have to give it a name. So we're going to call this query duplicate visit dates. Now obviously, if I'm running a business, I'm going to expect to see multiple visits on the same date. I certainly would not assume that I'm only going to see one animal per day and make any kind of money. So we would expect to find duplicates when we run this query. I'm going to click Finish. And you can see that we did, in fact, find duplicates. So this would allow us to see how many visits we had on each given day. Okay. So that concludes your query wizard for duplicates. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to start it again, and I want to point out a couple of areas. So if I click on OK, and again I'm going to start with my visit table. This is the screen where students usually make a mistake. They try to insert too many fields here. This is only supposed to be the field or fields that you think will have duplicate values. One field you should never include on this screen is the primary key to the table you're using, because it cannot contain duplicates. Once we've inserted a field and we go to the next screen, students often confuse that last screen with this one because they do look alike. But if you read the description, you'll see that they're not. So this one, it's acceptable to include all of the fields, but not that first one. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. And that concludes our creation of the Find Duplicates query.